Hello, everyone. This is Janae and Heather with the CCB, and more specifically with product registration. Today, we are here to talk about amendments and renewals. So the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen so that everyone can see the adult use applications and forms. Uh, you can place on our website. You can find this at ccb.vermont.gov/forms. This is where you can find all the information for pre-qualification, as well as adult use license application and renewal process, ID cards, and product registration. With product registration, we have one-pagers listed here for introduction to product registration renewals and intro to product registration amendments. So those are both really great videos. We also have a video on how to register flower. So those are some great resources. Just want to make sure that everyone's aware of those before we get started. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take you through amending a product and renewing a product, and we are going to take you through the process and show you what it looks like when it's done. So this is my test Vermont portal, CCB portal. So let's say that I want to amend, there's a product I have. So let's go to my list of products. So let's say I have this product, registration for amendment, and it needs amendment. I'm going to change my packaging. I'm changing my packaging from uh, a glass jar with a metal lid to a glass jar with a wooden bamboo lid. So I'm going to click on this little arrow right here to the left of the screen, and that is going to show me the options to amend it or withdraw it. Many people mistakenly wanting to amend something, withdraw it, make a change, and then resubmit it. But the easier thing to do is amend it, because then nothing has to change for your product and it's never taken out of the system. So if I click on amendment, it is going to ask me, ooh, let me just scroll back up to the top. It's going to ask me why I'm amending something. Is it a change in packaging, a change in label, or something else? A circumstance where there might be a change in label, I mean, obviously it could just be run-of-the-mill change in graphics, but also there are sometimes situations where someone might want to have special holiday packaging or holiday labels that they want to add without taking away their old labels. That's a perfect situation where you can use an amendment. Or with a change in packaging, that could happen because there is a waiver that is expiring, and so you need to change your packaging. Keep in mind something very important that I should have mentioned earlier. The product that I clicked on is a registered product. I can only amend a registered product. If a product is not yet registered, if it is still in the system in the queue, submitted, waiting to be reviewed, and I want to make a change, at that point, you would either wait to hear back from the CCB, either that your product is incomplete, under review, or registered. If it's incomplete, you can make the change yourself. If it's under review, you can reach out to the CCB products inbox, or if it is registered, then you can make an amendment. But those are the circumstances that will allow you to make a change to your product. So let's say a waiver is changed. A waiver has been changed. So we're going to click this arrow right here that moves it over to change in packaging. So this is what's available, and this is what you've chosen. So square to the left is what's available, square to the right is what you've chosen. So it's not enough to just click the
Can
something under
you,
available, you have to move it over. Mhm.
Janae, are you able to like do multiple amendments? Could you do like I want to change my label and the packaging on one amendment, or would you need multiple amendments if you're like changing many things at once?
Yeah, so you can do multiple things at once. You could move all of this over if you would like to. The only thing you can't do is not have any of them on there. You have to choose something to do an amendment. Um, right, and right now we're just doing a change in packaging, but you can move the change in label over if you'd like, and you can do as many as you would like at once. Um, It should be noted that this other category should not be used under any circumstances to input harvest lots, extra test results, extra COAs. Those COAs only need to be uploaded with your original product registration. to inventory tracking to keep everything updated. And then when you renew your product, you will need to upload test results again. But you do not need to come in and do amendments adding test results. So that's not really what other is for. I think that might be a confusion that happens. Other is just for anything unforeseen that we are not able to predict at this moment that might need to be changed in regarding a product. And if you have any comments about what you're amending, if you want to tell us exactly what you're changing, so that it's more likely to get approved, or if you want to, if it's complicated and you want to explain it, um, this is actually a requirement that you explain what's going on with this, and that helps us on the back end know what we are approving when it comes to your amendment. So, changing from metal lids to wooden lids. Perfectly good reason and information. Now, then we have product information. You'll notice that this is completely grayed out. You are not able to make any changes. This is because this is an amendment, um, and you're not updating the COAs or the test results. So nothing about the product should be changing except one of the three things here, which is the change in packaging, change in label, or other. But there should be no changes to the product itself, which is why the potency and and things like that are not supposed to change. Now, packaging, obviously, that may be changing. So let's say previously my packaging was only child deterrent, not child resistant, which is totally fine. But this time I wanted child resistant packaging for some reason, decided on that. I can change that here. And let's say it's not under a plastic waiver still. And so I am able to move forward without that. And I would still, as long as my labeling is still consistent, this is a flour that we are amending here. So um, we do not need an ingredient list. We do need the required warnings, THC content, and we need to know if it's white labeled in state or out of state. Then you attest that this is true and correct information, and you are going to hit save and next. Then at this next page, this is where you would upload any documents that you need that fit into these different categories. So you can upload as many documents as you need in each category. And we do have, with this one particularly, since it's the packaging that we're changing, we would definitely want to see photos of packaging. We would want to see a link to maybe just a screenshot of the web page that the packaging is on, or a direct link to it, so that we can make sure that it doesn't have any plastic, things like that. And you would upload that information here. And you'll notice this does not say pay and submit. There have been some people having issues where they're being asked to pay for their amendments, even after going through and not having to pay for them. My understanding is that what has been put into this test system that we're using right now is what the system is supposed to be doing. So you should not need to be paying for amendments. So that if you run into that, that may be a bug in the system, because it should just say submit. So we'll hit submit. And success, you have now put in um, that amendment. You've put in a request for an amendment. So what's going to happen here is that you've got your original PR under registration, reg for amendment 1, and that's submission type original, and that is and it's registered. That's your original PR. But underneath it shows up registration for amendment 1, same name, but the submission type is amendment. So it is not the same type of submission. It has the same name, but it's not the same at all. You'll get an email automatically letting you know that you have submitted this amendment, and you'll be able to see it here in your portal. If you click on the options, you are able to withdraw this amendment if you did it by mistake, and you have the option still to make further amendments or withdrawals to the original product. So we already worked on a different product earlier so that we can show you what it looks like um, when something is completed. So see, we've got down here, we've got registration for reg for amendment 2. That's the original submission, the flower that is registered. Underneath it, we have reg for amendment 2 again, but it is the amendment. And as you can see here, the status is amendment approved. If it was rejected, the status would be amendment rejected. So they do not have the same statuses as the other amendments that are as the other things that are available, such as registered incomplete, although there could be an under review if there's something that the team needs to discuss on the back end.
What
As
are
you can
some of
see,
the,
mhm.
sorry, Jenny, what are some of the reasons that an amendment would be rejected?
Yeah, so amendment would be rejected, say, if it was packaging and someone thought something was plastic free, but it wasn't, which is something that happens often with like things like threading and liners that folks don't recognize as plastic and that aren't under a waiver. They might assume that something is plastic free when it actually is not, or it might say that it has PE liners, which that actually is a plastic liner, but people are not aware of that. So if it was something like that where there is plastic involved, then a packaging amendment would be rejected in that case. Same thing for a label if the if it doesn't fit in the advertising matrix, if it's too bright, if it's too child friendly, has cartoon characters, smoking joints or things like that, or kind of fantastical creatures or characters, that could end up in an amendment being rejected, is, essentially the labeling or packaging or whatever else is being rejected. Also, if someone did see other and thought that it was a route to uploading test results and they were trying to change the product itself, that would end up in a rejected amendment. If you want to change the product itself, you do need to do a new product registration. Okay, and so notice that for this amendment that's been approved, there is no arrow here. Once an amendment has been approved, there isn't really anything else you can do with that record. It is just there to let us know that there's been a change to the product. However, you can, like we demonstrated earlier, go up to the original registration and you can put in a new amendment or withdraw it. So that's kind of where things stand with amendments. And then we'll just step on to renewals really quickly. So we have got this registration reg for renewal, the original submission. And we can, because this is within 90 days of expiring, which we are alerted to by the fact that we've received several emails at this point, at the 120-day mark, the 90-day mark, and going onward, letting us know that our product is expiring. That's how we know that we're able to come in, click the arrow to the left, and we are going to have the option to renew at the bottom. So we can click renew. Oop. And our product name and product type cannot change because this is supposed to be essentially the same product. However, if the test results have caused the product to change, it's flour and it's changed over the with the new crop, then you can put in all of the new information that you would like to add, any new packaging, any new labeling, because I mean, this is a year after it was originally submitted or originally registered. So a lot of things can change in that time. Then you would attest that everything is true and correct and move forward, hit save and next. Um, Upload all of your documents, like we said, upload the documents to the correct area, such as the packaging area, the picture of label area, the certificate of analysis area, and the test result areas. Um, Once all of those are uploaded, you'll notice that down here it does say pay and submit. You are paying because, I mean, this is essentially paying to move your product registration forward for another year. So each year it is another $50. So you would click pay and submit. For our purposes, we'll click check and we'll click pay now. And that will allow us to move forward. And you will see uh, at the top of your product registrations list, the renewals. It'll see under submission type, it'll say renewal, and it'll have the same PR number as your original PR that was registered for almost a year at that time. It'll have a different P number. Notice for amendments and renewals, this separate new P number is really not something that needs to be used for inventory tracking or anything like that. It really has no use for anything except the back end. So essentially it's for reference only. So there's nothing that needs to be done with that P number. Um, and then let's scroll down to registration for renewal 2. So you can see that this is one we did earlier for registration for renewal 2. There's the original and then there's the renewal. And you can see that for renewals, you have the exact same statuses. So the PR is registered and the renewal is registered. If the renewal was denied, you would have the status of denied, incomplete, under review, all of those types of things, just like you would with the original PR. So the renewal is very similar to the original PR. It's just kind of a way to move it forward onto the next year. Um, and once it's registered, you're good for another year.
Janae, if there was no changes to like the packaging or the label, do you still need to submit a new packaging, like new packaging and labels along with your test results for the renewals?
Yeah, so you still need to, just take a picture of the packaging that you're currently using, get the link and put all that information still, even if it's the same as it was last year, put the information back into the renewal, so that we are able to re-review it and just make sure it's still in compliance because, we all know the rules change over time. So we just want to make sure that everything is still in compliance and still working right. Okay, is there anything else that we can think of that someone might need to know about amendments and renewals? I'm gonna pop over here to open the one pagers to make sure there's just nothing that we missed, um, that we can go over. Oh, there
And,
is, mhm, yeah,
and about how long would it take to get like my amendment or my renewal approved? Like, is there like how quickly should I expect a response or an approval or
yeah.
denial?
So that is going to take about 15 to 30 days, just like it does a regular PR. Definitely expect within that 15 to 30 range mark. If it's hit 30 days, definitely reach out to the product's email and we will take a look at that. Sometimes things can get lost. So always feel free to reach out if you feel like there's something wrong. It's been 35 days and you're a little confused. Feel free to reach out to the CCB products inbox. A little detail here, if the changes extend beyond the label or packaging, the other option should be used. Any modification to certificates of analysis shall follow the standard inventory tracking process separately. Something else that is needs to be aware is that with amendments, um, or was it renewals? Oh goodness. With one of them, I think it's with renewals. If you are not if it's with renewals, if you're not planning to continue that product, you're not planning to renew it because you're not growing or making that product anymore, but there are still products on shelves. There is something, and it's over here. It's called a an existing stock provision. So this means that when it expires, that remaining stock is able to be sold until stock runs out. And that is completely fine as long as the cultivator or manufacturer is not planning on making anything else making any more of that product. If they're making more of that product, it absolutely needs to be renewed. And here we've got the numbers of the intervals when the email notifications go out. So they go out currently at 120, which is just kind of a notice to let you know to get ready. Then at 90, you can actually renew. Then you've got 60, 28, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that's when you'll receive your renewal information. And all of this, I believe we went over. Um,
What happens if I missed my renewal window and I've waited till it's like 30 days, like I'm really close to my expiration date? What happens then?
Then at that point, you're definitely going to want to get in touch with the products team and work with us one on one if it's very close to your renewal. Unfortunately, you cannot be pushed ahead in the queue. If there are other people in the queue ahead of you, they that were in beforehand, those people still retain their place in the line. So you can't be pushed ahead just because yours is renewing going to expire soon. Now, if this was a case where there is a technical bug that causes that, that's very different. But in a case where it is just, oh, I forgot to renew, oh crap, it's happening in 15 days, reach out to the team, make them aware. We will always do our best, but at the same time, we cannot prioritize over others if there's no kind of technical thing that was involved, that no kind of extenuating circumstances. um yeah, but yeah, definitely if it's been over 30, or if you put it in, it's been over 30 and it's about to expire, definitely reach out, because maybe there was a mistake and it wasn't showing up on the list of our products or something like that. um and yeah, as a reminder, you do get email. You get emails, every time you put in a PR, but with an amendment and a renewal, you'll get emails about those as well, so that you're able to have a record of what's going on in the system. So you can always forward that if you're saying, like, say if there were to be a technical issue that happened that said that we don't have a submittal of your renewal, you could always forward that email to us and keep that in your document, so that you're able to prove that you did try, submit a renewal. Okay, I think that is everything, unless you can think of anything else, Heather.
I can't think of anything else. I think we covered all everything that I can think of.
Okay. Okay. Well, that is amendments and renewals in product registration at the CCB. Always feel free to reach out to our team at the CCB dot products at vermont.gov with any further questions. And we have so many resources on our website, on our YouTube channel, that are available to help.